Chapter 226. After Anson and the others left, a group of people quietly came to the base on the top of the mountain. Sir, almost everything has been destroyed and taken away, but it is not difficult to see from the traces left inside that there have been results here. Visible remnants of Zitari technology. Although it seems that Zitari is very crotch in the button war, for the Earth, people's technology is at least much more than the Earth. This is true for most people. Needless to say, the overwhelming Zitari people are biomodified people. In a sense, they can be cloned in bulk. Of course, it was not all of Zitari's forces that appeared in the Battle of Nuyo. Otherwise, if no other forces intervened, it's really hard for humans to win. For example, a direct strike on Earth in outer space. The most noteworthy aspects are Chitauri's energy technology and laser technology. This is at least beyond the level of science and technology on the Earth. Fury frowned. Gather all the discoveries, take away what you can, and don't leave it race. Understood. Button. Attention. The target person appears. Will it affect the implementation of the Insight Plan 25? The probability is high. Do you kill the target? Kill. Understood. At this time, 3 huge aircraft carriers had risen from the outside of the 3 curved wing building, and a huge mechanical body even covered the sunlight. Look up. It's really good. Do we need to make a move? Anson shook his head directly. Fury just used some information about the Zitari people to trade with us, as long as there is no trouble. As for how it will develop, he kind of understood why Furuichi didn't want to get involved in the fight of ordinary people. It's so boring. For example, at this moment, you dare to fly into the sky without energy shield technology on an aerospace aircraft carrier? It is not a Kun-type fighter, at least the speed is fast. The huge body of the aerospace aircraft carrier and the destined to fly is not fast. No matter how fast it is, there is no fast to missile. A slow, huge guy hovering in the sky, isn't it just a target to escape? Of course. These aerospace aircraft carriers are not without protective forces. The Insight Plan, to put it bluntly, is that after several aerospace aircraft carriers fly into the sky to a predetermined orbit, they can clean up and strike all targets through the laser technology obtained from Zitari. Using mature laser technology as a protective force for weapons has always been an ideal method. The premise is that you need enough energy. Therefore, to some extent, it is also certain that people dare to take off. No amount of missiles you come with will be as fast as lasers, and as long as the radar keeps up, laser weapons can clear multiple missile threats in almost a second. And the energy consumed with lasers is not expensive, at least not as expensive as missiles. And the source of energy should still have something to do with Stark. Huh? Pietro asked. What's wrong? There are warplanes coming towards us. Following the direction Wanda looked, Anson also saw several black spots. In the distance, several missiles turned into white shadows in the air and quickly approached the building where they were, seemingly wanting to blow them up directly. A finger of the wand. Villavito. All the missiles that flew over turned into sheep, and if they were still missiles, they could naturally fly over to the building where Anson was located. But the magic of transfiguration and magic is much more than it seems. After becoming a sheep, the quality and power of the missile are no different from that of a sheep. After gliding for a while, it fell straight down the street below. Boom. It turns into a few pools of blood. Hell. Call home. Call home. The other party uses an ability that we can't understand. All missiles all fail. Repeat. All missiles all fail. SHHH received. Reattacked. Understood. The pilot swallowed his saliva and controlled the fighter to continue the attack and drop missiles. In the distance, the American team and others who were continuing to struggle on the space carrier at this moment received a summons from Fury in the headset. What? Anson came to help us? Black Widows. Looks like that's good news. But I'm curious how you got him over. It should be a big price, right? Fury turned to look at Black Widow next to him with a pistol pointed at Pierce. Indeed. Captain, are you all right over there? Hill, who remotely helped them control the space carrier, asked. Closing parenthesis. Team America twists where he was wounded by Bucky, who turned into a Winter Soldier. It's still controllable, it's just. Looking at the space carrier and sighing slightly, Bucky's strength was not much worse than him, and even the power exerted by that metal arm felt unstoppable. If the control chip of the space carrier cannot be replaced as soon as possible, as long as the space carrier flies to the predetermined orbit, then the Insight Plan is considered a success. Their efforts will also be in vain. At that time, countless people will die under the laser blow of the Insight Plan, and this price is unbearable for him. One punch to repel Bucky the Winter Soldier. Can you get Anson to come over and help? We still have an aerospace carrier's control chip that has not been replaced, and I was stopped. Hill frowned slightly when he heard it. The same goes for Fury and Black Widow. Fury sighed. I can't contact him. Try your best. On the other side, Wanda controlled the energy with both hands, and Yin Hong's magic energy wrapped up when the fighter approached, twisted it hard, and the fighter directly hit the building on the other side. Cool. Panting. Anson, you guys are waiting here. The figure flashed, and the next second 917 appeared on the space carrier, looking at the American team and Bucky who were still fighting fiercely below. Captain America rejoices. Anson, there are still Hydra people in the space carrier, Can you find them? Can't. Team America breathed heavily. I wanted to leave, but I was afraid that Anson would kill Bucky, so I had to take the gap in battle and throw the control chip at Anson. Trouble to replace. Nodding slightly. Just as you are about to leave, bang bang. Bucky had already pulled out his pistol and fired at Anson. Twist and finger, fall apart. Poof, boom. After the huge force split the Winter Soldier into pieces in an instant, a hollow was punched wherever he stood, and a pile of minced meat fell. Team America was stunned. No. What happened? Rogers? Speak. What happened? Anxious voices such as Hill and Black Widow came from the headset, and they thought something was wrong when they heard Captain America shouting. Anson replaced the control chip with an expressionless face. Hill immediately informed everyone, the last control chip has been replaced, and I can already remotely control the shutdown inside plan. Team America suddenly said, Anson, kill Bucky. What? Fury frowned again, which was not a good thing. Chapter 227. Even the joy of their disintegration of Hydra's insight plan on the one hand did not have time to slow down, and here the American team said that Anson had killed Bucky. In the whole Avengers, no, to be precise, in the whole beautiful Carrie, who does not know the friendship between Team America and Bucky. Fury felt bad, and was just about to speak to stop the American team from messing around. The American team that was still staying on the space carrier rover that did not even deal with the Hydra that had not been cleared, but picked up the shield that had fallen to the side and roared towards Anson. They didn't know the specific picture, but the sound coming from the headset indicated that the situation was very bad. Fury glanced at Black Widows, who had already taken control of Pierce. You deal with it here, I'll take a look. Black Widow nodded deeply. Things are starting to get tough. Whoever is one of them probably doesn't feel like Anson's opponent. According to the data collected by Fury and Stark, every time Anson appears, his power is growing at different levels. The gap with them was, according to Stark's words, invisible. Once this kind of character loses his mind, the end is almost imaginable. After all, conventional ideas or the laws they insisted on did not apply to Anson, nor did they fear. On the space carrier, wait until Fury appears. Team America crouched to the side in frustration. Fury, what about the others? The American team did not speak, and his eyes looked at the debris on the side. Sigh. It's not the time yet, you know. Team America raised his head. Is it like this to watch him transcend the world? That's not what S.H.I.E.L.D. was created for, Fury. But what can I do? Fury spread out his hand. That's a wizard, can breathe fire and can leave at any time. It's simply a walking nuclear bomb. Marge all fake. I don't believe you won't have any way to fight Anson. After speaking, the American team picked up the shield and went to deal with the Hydra. Fury looked at the body fragments on the side again. His pupils shrunk. Obviously he was also very jealous of Anson's ability. Night. Underground of Stark building. You mean to smash a warrior who has undergone serum transformation into pieces in an instant? Stark was a little shocked, but it seemed that this was in line with Anson's image and strength in his impression. The jealousy on Fury's one-eyed eyes has not disappeared. Good. How is your Ryan Pimple research? Stark shook his head. It's not good to say. There is no specific wizard to let me conduct research. Progress is slow, and I can't guarantee that it will be effective. In front of the two, there was a unique mecha suit. This one is much larger than the others Stark has used in the past, and it eliminates the conventional loading of bullets or missiles. Except for the energy cannon left in the palm and chest, no offensive weapons were seen. This was purposely built. What about it? Fury pointed to the armor. Stark frowned. Anti-wizard armor, equipped with an energy force field powered by the arc reactor, theoretically can block the wizard's offensive means, but, without trying, I don't know if it will work as expected. The two were silent. Sorcerer? Where to find a wizard to experiment with? This is clearly impossible, as far as they know. In addition to the wizard power represented by Anson, there are indeed other wizards, such as the secret mage in Anson's mouth. Yes, I can't find it. Yes, I just can't find it, and with the energy of S.H.I.E.L.D., I can't even find a group of old antiques, which shows how deeply these people are hidden. And people don't necessarily help them. You haven't simulated it? Stark shrugged. The simulation results are very good. It can indeed block the wizard's magic, but there is no actual experiment. You dare to apply it? Not to mention that once they really tear their faces with Anson, they may not be able to withstand Anson's retaliation. That's what they're most afraid of. Even he was building this armor secretly, not daring to let Anson know. Or buttons. In a small alley, 3 differently dressed men were running in panic, occasionally looking behind them, carrying unknown weapons in their hands. Faintly emitting blue light comes out. Clearly not a conventional weapon. Cool. The 3 suddenly stopped. The guns in their hands were aimed at the exit of the alley in front of them, and their bodies trembled slightly. A man in a black robe smiled and blocked in front of them. Run. Multiply. Closing parenthesis multiply. Multiply. 3 blue energy rays flew directly out from the weapons held by the 3 people, but the person was motionless, allowing the energy rays to hit. Just as it touched his body, a transparent energy barrier suddenly appeared on the surface of his body, cancelling out these 3 rays of light. This is the iron armor spell attached to the dragon skin magic robe. The wand was raised, and his face was extremely indifferent. Falling apart. rip and pull. The bodies of the three seemed to be distorted by space, and in an instant, their human forms were scattered all over the place, revealing their skin that should have been green. "Scary people," the wizard said to a bracelet on his wrist. "The target has been cleared." Received. The next target coordinate location has been sent. Specific data is sent to the bracelet, and under the infusion of magic, this data can only be seen by the wizard. This is one of the latest magical items developed by Arthur and Weasley, and its core material is still the World Tree. It was later improved by Anson. Borrowed part of the technology about the Rainbow Bridge in Asgard. As long as it is in the area covered by the World Tree, real-time communication can theoretically be achieved without restrictions. In this way, the range is infinite. On the other side, Taros, the leader of the Scurry people, was on the phone, and his livid face looked very bad. "You shit actually betrayed us." Fury, "Oh, well, you don't seem to have told me that you would collect Avengers genes to replicate their abilities." Taros, "This doesn't seem to be relevant to our previous agreement." Lee Keynes. Talos on the other end took a breath, suddenly smiled and said, "Fury, we are friends who have experienced the test of war, you know. We are just a group of interstellar refugees in need of help. We need your help, and of course, we can help you. You should be aware of that." Fury, "I need all the abilities you can replicate." "It can't be. I'm afraid the Scurry people will be removed from Earth. It seems that those wizards are very interested in you." "Enough, I agree. But you can't give wizards information about my clan anymore." Fury, "Even if the Scurry Empire is broken, it is not something that Earth can provoke." "This is a threat. But it is also effective." The old fox's Furumsy hung up the phone. "How terrifying is the ability of the whole Avengers? Now it seems that there is another way to check Anson." "Well, the Scurry seem to be somewhat useful." Chapter 228. Under the top floor of the Stark building, except for Stark who can enter, only a few people have permission to enter here. After Stark upgrades the Warframe to a certain level, and because of the existence of wizards, he has been thinking about how to balance the impact of Anson. After all, for him, or more precisely, for the bourgeoisie who has the same ideology as him, an unstable wizard is unreasonable. Even if he doesn't have any personal grudges with Anson, even Anson hasn't helped him less. But is a group of wizards far beyond the strength of ordinary people really good for this world? The answer is yes. "Banner, this data doesn't seem to be very accurate, you know. What we need is a Warframe that can protect our world. It has to be smart enough, and it needs to be powerful enough." Banner took off his glasses. The expression was somewhat exhausted, not physically, but mentally. "Tony, can our research really restrain wizards?" Stark shook his head solemnly and nodded again. "I always believed that 113 is a human and will die, even if it is a wizard." The force field generator on the armor has been simulated and determined to be able to resist wizards' magic, which even Anson has recognized. It's just that they haven't practiced it, and the specific data is not clear. Tony looked at him seriously. "Dr. Banner, if you think about it, there are huge numbers of wizards, and if we want to balance wizards, we must have as large a number as they are. And you need to be fearless of death. Human beings are impossible." Even if Banner turns into the Hulk, even if it is Team America, it feels tricky and oppressive when facing the wizard on the mysterious side. Conversely, Warframe robots are different. In the case of Jarvis intelligence, it can do calculations that humans cannot. Now that he has studied with Banner and received an advanced nanotechnology from Dr. Helen Zhao, the Warframe has been upgraded again. This gave him a glimpse of the light. Unfortunately, Jarvis's intelligence is even due to his data clock research with Dr. Banner. Progress is still slow, and the boost didn't live up to the expectations they needed. So they need to do it from a different perspective and win by quantity. Banner nodded, hopefully. On the day of the burial of the Winter Soldier, it is drizzling today. In the cemetery, only the American team and the Falcon stood in the rain with umbrellas, and there was the sound of footsteps stepping on the grass in the rain behind them. Falcon looked back. Stark came over with a bouquet of red roses and placed it in front of the tombstone. The brows were solemn, and there seemed to be a hint of happiness. "I thought he would die at my hands." Team America sighed. "You know, he was controlled at that time, and he can't be counted." "So you don't understand me." The three were silent in the rain. Team America, say, "Why did you come to me? Don't tell me just want to come to me to taunt Bucky." Fury got something. "I heard that it can compete with wizards." "Well?" Team America turned his head and looked him seriously in the eye, as if to say, "You guys are serious?" Obviously saw Anson's strength, saw the strength of the wizard, but he was still doing these small actions that were not on the table. "Seriously?" Stark shrugged. "Whatever you want. Anyway, I brought my words." After saying that, leave. "Do you believe them?" Falcon asked. Team America shook his head. "Fury is a secret agent leader, not worth believing. I know the same as Stark, but the wizard's threat right in front of you. It's not that he wants to avenge Bucky. After all, he knows what Bucky has done. Those ruins could not be counted on Bucky's head in his opinion. But people are like this, how to understand that there is no BBFG, personal pain experience. Bucky was also relieved. It can't be in this way, at least not by the hand of a wizard. For a long time, if wizards continue to attack, even against them, against ordinary people, subtly. This means that the status of wizards is above all else? No way. An island in the Pacific Ocean. Closing parenthesis. As soon as the Kun-type fighter stopped, the Avengers who came down from above saw Fury waiting here. I thought you weren't coming. Team America, talk about it. Fury raised his eyebrows and didn't speak, turned around and led them into the base, where the visible non-human bodies were soaked in formalin liquid. Black Widow chuckled. I've long heard that you have a lot of things in your hands that go beyond Earth, and now it seems that this is indeed the case. And I heard that you are still close to the greenskin that the wizard has been capturing. That's not what you should be concerned about, Black Widow. The bottom of the base. Fury pointed to a laboratory. This is it. If you want to compete with wizards, you need to become stronger, and it just so happens that I got away. What? Falcon asked. Fury grinned. Team America and Dr. Banner are strong, there's no doubt about it. But what if Team America has Dr. Banner's abilities? Or what about everyone else's abilities? Well, I don't understand. Let's keep it simple. Fury, simply put, if a person has the abilities of all people, can this be against wizards? Hiss. Everyone looks at each other. Is this possible? You succeeded? No, someone else succeeded. Black Widow thought thoughtfully. Undergoing the transformation, Black Widow raised her hand and lightning jumped on the tip of her finger, and her other hand turned green, holding a huge dumbbell activity. The body has changed from slender in the past, but has a more muscular beauty. Anson, it's time for Shandar Star. After getting off the spaceship, Shandar people of all colors were walking around, and the interior of the spaceport was mostly life from other star regions. The Shandar civilization is originally a civilization of immigrants, and you can see all kinds of life forms here. So these are not surprising. This time, Anson naturally came for the so-called power gem. This gemstone is powerful. This kind of power is different from other gemstones. If the power of other gemstones is the power of ability, then the power gem is the power of energy. Violent, manic, turbulent. It should be interesting. Shall we wait here? Wanda was puzzled. Anson nodded. Of course, someone has already released the news of finding the cosmic spirit orb, and it will inevitably come here to sell it in the end, and then we will make a move. But if something goes wrong halfway, Anson glared at her. Ravenmouth. If the plot has not been changed, it probably won't.